Amazon, Netflix, and all the other movie producing, show producing companies have really just been on a downhill slope, really, for the past, I don't even know how many years, really. It's been probably at least a decade at this point. Because they just keep trying to re release things that have already been made while trying to be politically correct. And it's not even that for the sake of being politically correct that these movies are bad. It's because their emphasis is on doing that and then not even producing a remotely compelling story. So we just recently got, I believe, from yesterday or 2 days ago now, I don't know, one of those two. They released the Rings of Power season 2 trailer, and by golly, those people are going to absolute town on the dislike to like ratio. It is quite horrendous. Here on YouTube, it's got 3.34 million views in just one day. And so it's number one on trending, which is incredible. But as you can see here, 63,000 likes to 265,000 dislikes. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm honestly surprised there's not even that many likes, to be honest. Like, I didn't even think there was that many people even still watching the show. Because yeah, I have not talked to a single person that I know that has actually watched all of season one. If that doesn't just kind of put out there how exactly good the show is, I don't know what will. Because yeah, it is, it is not great. And the first comment here is like absolutely correct as well. What impresses me the most about this trailer is that they haven't turned the comment section off. Because over on Twitter, they're getting a bunch of backlash on it as well. I mean, you can even see here, this guy took a screenshot, and there it was only at 19,000 dislikes. And that was yesterday, of course. So, and this comment here says, I wouldn't even feel the need to dislike or anything. I just watched the trailer and had the feeling of, yeah, I have zero effing interest in this. I don't even have to know that much about Lord of the Rings to see that this crap is going to be unwatchable. And it's so true. It's like, even for people who haven't really seen Lord of the Rings or maybe watched it once 20 years ago at this point, gosh, man, time flies. Even they know, like, just watching and comparing the two, it's like, it's just night and day. If you want to watch Lord of the Rings or something involving Lord of the Rings, just go watch the original trilogy. Because The Hobbit was okay. I didn't mind The Hobbit, but I mean, really, the original trilogy was just. They was the first one made, and it still holds up the best. I mean, it's the same with Star Wars too. I mean, the original trilogy was 4, 5, and 6, and those ones were just the best. They just had I don't even know what the word would be for it, but they felt real, I guess you could say, in a way. They felt inspiring. It was almost like a real human story where you could see, like, yeah, I could see that playing out even though it was fantasy. Whereas now it's just the writing and everything is just so bad. Like, some of the lines and the scripts that they have, it's like, who would even say this? Like, they're trying to implement like modern terminology and things like that into what it would have been like back then. And so it doesn't even hold up very well. I don't know. And then the acting too. I'm not blaming the actors or anything because they're just trying to play their role. But I mean, it doesn't even hold up. It just doesn't. I mean, the like to dislike ratio says it all, really. I mean, it's just not even comparable. It's really not. I mean, the same thing with The Witcher as well. I mean, even the games weren't perfect by any means, but they really did a good job of capturing. Maybe that's what I should have said. Capturing the essence of what it was supposed to be from the books. And so the games really made it feel like you were entering Geralt's world, if you will, for The Witcher anyway. And then the show comes out. Season 1 was pretty good. I thought it was decent. But I didn't even watch season 2 because I heard it was horrible. And I am not even going to touch it with a 10-foot pole now because I heard that it's just been downhill quick. Because, I mean, even season one was by far the best out of all they've made, but even that was still just quite bad if you're comparing it with the books, which I've read, and then the games, which I've played, and then watching the show. It just doesn't really hold up. I think I kind of skewed my own perception of it in that way. So I guess from that standpoint, season one was okay because it kind of was their own twist, if you will. But even that, it's like even their twist wasn't as good as the books or the games. But then after that, they just tried to remove Geralt from the picture, and it's like you can't do that. The Witcher was, go figure, about Geralt the Witcher. Sure, there was other proponents, other main characters, if you will, but Geralt was the lead figure in the books. I mean, it was his story. And so when you try to remove him, of course, it's just going to fall off because you're pretty much disrespecting all the people who originally started watching the show, started playing the games. They were playing it for Geralt. So once you remove him, I mean, what's the incentive for them to watch it? And the same thing with Lord of the Rings, too. I mean, they tried to do these spin-offs of all these different characters, and it's like, who's really watching it for them? It's like, yeah, we have Galadriel, cool, but it was never really about her. She was always a side character. I mean, when you think of Rings of Power or Lord of the Rings, who do you think is going to be the main audience? Probably a bunch of dudes. Sure, there's women that are watching it, of course, but it's mostly a male-dominated audience because it's a bunch of dudes fighting each other, trying to battle evil, good and evil. And so when you try to start skewing that with your own different narrative and whatever, you just lose the main people who were watching it to begin with. And so when we have examples like this of The Witcher and then of the Rings of Power, it really just goes to show that bad writing, it can just destroy pretty much anything, even established IPs. Because The Witcher, all they had to do was just follow the book and it would have been a spectacular show. Or not even like word for word, if you will, the book, but just use it as a guideline. But they just took The Witcher and then just ran off with its own complete different story. And so, of course, ain't nobody gonna watch it anymore. I'm surprised it even made it to 5 seasons, to be honest. I think that's a feat in and of itself, really. I think they've been just riding off the hype of The Witcher 3, really. For all the people that are still watching the show just because they're nostalgic for The Witcher. But yeah, so Witcher and Rings of Power, I'm actually happy that these are failing because it will show these companies that, yeah, even if there's an established IP that is loved and respected by a lot of people, they can still fail spectacularly when you get the wrong writers, the wrong casting, the wrong pretty much everything, storytelling in these. Because, yeah, it has been quite the journey to see just how far these shows have fallen from what originally was released with these IPs. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about The Witcher and the Rings of Power. Because, I mean, you already know my opinion. I think they're horrible now anyway. But yeah, anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace!